Yep, modern graphics. What can you do in just about anything you want to do?
Yeah.
Give us a picture.
All the colours.
Yeah, watercolors. Have we had any sand painting? I don't remember that. The
Anyway,
first one
entry
is
number one, it's
PirateBunnies.
PirateBunnies by Paulet.
That's what I get for creating something while listening to Paddy and the Rats during Easter. For the most part, created in Krita and edited in GIMP, only using the mouse. Well, now, those are pirate bunnies with being pelted by eggs from another ship.
Background first. Interesting.
Well, you know, I mean, that's a way of doing it because you have layers. I mean,
I know, but when I think of drawing a picture, it's more like you draw what the main focus is going to be first, and then you fill in the background later on.
yeah, that's how I operate. It is interesting. The carrot as a knife is also an interesting touch. All right, entry number 2 by Goosington, D. Fox's new favorite. Nick, Rising Above. Unwrinkled the kinks in my mind, in the end it got away. Rising above as I untwined, will things ever be okay? Modeled in Nomad Sculpt and rendered in Blender Eevee. So yeah, you can use a 3D modeling thing and then do a capture of it. So rendering techniques are a thing also in this. And
Yeah, I mean, use absolutely anything just to make a picture, and there we go. That's it.
Yeah. And compositing things, just as you can see here, multiple different techniques in order to get that thing. I love the duck. And yeah, this one did not do the background first. This did the main object first.
Yeah. Goosington, obviously, was an entry in the Shader Showdown as well.
Yes.
So I expect them to use 3D techniques.
Well, but it's interesting because that's very different. This is modeling versus creating it in a shader. So in my mind, that's different.
And number 3 is Memories by New Scribe Master Inkscape and GIMP. So Inkscape's a vector package, if I recall.
All right, so
yeah.
Now I think we have gone back and we're going to see picture number 3, Memories by New. Yeah. And this is the thing that was made in Scribmaster, Inkscape, and the GIMP.
Yep. I think this is the one with the bikes in.
Yes, this is the one with the bikes. So this is the one that was done with Scribmaster, the GIMP, and so forth. All right. So, yes, and a bridge in the background. Suspension bridge. You were making some comments while I was closing the door on this one, yes? I missed them completely.
I've said a couple of things, yes. This is interesting. I was just commenting on the shape of the bikes as well, actually, to be honest with you. Because
one of those looks like a chopper, doesn't it? The one on the left.
Yeah, I think the two in the middle do, but I'm pretty certain I'd fall off the back of that one.
I've seen. We have quite a few bikes in the area where I am in Helsinki, and I've seen several people using these type of reclining bicycles. They're becoming somewhat popular. And yes, that does include in the snow.
So here's
Okay, number 4, Desktop by Krigon.
And we saw this one earlier. Yes, this.
Okay, this is making more sense now.
Yes. And for those of you that do not remember the demo by Rebels, Rebels had a demo that had 2 monitors like this, and they had effects on both of them. So
That was a good demo, that.
it was an excellent demo, and I think it was the first one to really sort of address that. You might be able to do an effect on multiple monitors and still have a cohesive demo.
Yeah.
You disgust me.
Only proper word there.
It's called the aspect ratio police.
Well, yeah, that's
Says the man who did a 16:9 demo on the Amiga.
well, but Charlie allows us to do those. But yes, the C64 at the wrong aspect ratio drives me nuts. Oh, okay. Who else has this track playing in their head now? Send Me an Angel by Callisto of Flush and GPO Pinball. Oh, hey, Callisto. Glad you're well. Miss seeing you guys. This is
a little fantasy setting here. Is it?
So, for those of you who don't know, oh, go ahead. Talk about the picture.
No, I was just about to make some comments. Whoever that is in the cloak hasn't seen that scorpion coming up behind them. They need to pull that hood down.
Could be. It could also just be, I'm not worried, I have this staff. The folks from Pinball were, the first time they came to Revision with the pinballs, they kept asking, what is this? What is going on? And as they found out about the competitions, then it was, we want to be involved. And, well, they are. They've been contributing for several years. It's
that's a fantastic story.
It's what the demo scene does.
It sucks you in, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
That was Send Me an Angel by Callisto, anyway. And entry number 6 is Escape from Proxima Centauri B by Netro. I apologise, my cat's just fallen off her bed again.
That's okay. I've got the Finnish assembly esports streamers outside, so that's a very space shuttle type thing. And my head goes back to Pinball because Space Shuttle is an excellent machine. But I like the clouds. Clouds are hard to draw. Hard to get right.
Yes, very much so. I do like that nice stylized spaceship there.
Yeah. Not quite vector wave, but sort of the right colors for it. Well, maybe not that orange. Yeah.
I don't know, it looks pretty vaporwave to me.
There's
the orange, maybe
Just
not.
put a VHS filter on it and you're there, I think.
Yeah, vaporwave, yes. Vector wave, which is probably just a thing in my head. Catplosion by BrainSmush. Was it right on time for the cat thing? Was at a friend's house
much, yeah.
playing a game. Somehow my creatures repeatedly lost to a cat.
Yeah, so there's a number of spiders in this house that repeatedly lose to this cat as well.
Yeah, that cat probably it does not appear to have any fear whatsoever.
reminds me of the what was it, the Marlborough tentacles from the Final Fantasy game. And the cat's just yeah, bring it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about scorpions. I have the staff. Cat.
I'm not worried about tentacle monsters. I have a cat.
Yes. It is interesting, that we're talking about this, and this is not probably intended to be a theme, but protection from horrible things is kind of been a theme for the past two, at least what we've been talking about.
Anyway, that was Catplosion by BrainSmush. And number 8 is I Dream of Orange Wallpaper by Rusalka. 100% Procreate on an iPad Pro. Loosely inspired by my grandmother's curtains. Yes, I see that.
It's very 70s, isn't it?
Well, the wallpaper is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the way that they're depicting the dream state here is really interesting because they're also using clouds, but the main focus of the picture, and the rope and everything. Yeah, the composition of this one is there's a lot going on here, and I like the way they've juxtaposed the clouds to indicate that it is a dream state, and the way that they've used the lighting and the color. Because the lighting is really focusing and keeping it floating the rest of the picture out from the clouds that are the sleep state.
Yeah. Keep it. This is the real bit. That's the dream bit.
Yeah. Night Watch by Xanthe. Made with Clip Studio paint and a tablet. And here we have the well, it's not really a mech, is it? It's
Yeah. I mean, I remember Clip Studio Paint from when it was called, I think it was called Comic Studio in Japan. It's called Manga Studio in the West, and it was basically for making comics. It was a vector line art package.
right.
But it had lots of extra stuff in for screen tones and so on like that for generating them. But after I gave up drawing, they did a version that has colour in it now, and now it's a really good paint package.
Yeah, it's
And that's about
really interesting how tools are. There are so many different tools that people are using, and techniques. Remember,
I find it as well. It's like you end up with you have lots of tools that all start out being unique, but they all add more and more bits, and then they all end up practically the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was
and it
Night
goes in
Watch by
cycles, too.
Xanthe. Yes, it does.
Okay,
number
I
10
cannot
is
read that
The
text. I will
Meeting.
have to let you do this one.
Fair enough. This is The Meeting by Yogi Bear of Delicious-Amigans, Flush, Vital, Motion, X, and X-Men. It's pretty similar to the title, so don't worry too much. Very abstract.
Yes.
I know what that reminds me of. That reminds me of the cover of Cold Cut's first album.
Yeah, sorry, my brain went cut creator there, and I was lost. Yeah, this is abstract enough that my brain is saying it's kind of at a loss for what to comment on. It wants to kind of. This is one of the few that I'd actually rather not zoom in on it quite yet. I'm not sure if he is breaking that block or if the block is breaking him. So, Sone Messehalle by NR4 of Team 210. Executable graphics, but renders too long for the compo. Well, that's also a technique.
Well, this is a problem with using. Is it PBR? I'm sorry, I'm not a massive expert on the individual techniques, but yeah, they take a long time to render anything decent. Oh, I love the starting image.
Yeah.
This was my first draft. Yes, but it can take up to a minute. There was another one as well. A good example of this is Caffeinate from last year. The one in the competition looks very grainy, but inside the package there's one that he rendered like over 50,000 individual cycles on it, and it looks so much smoother. But 30 seconds was all you're allowed, so you end up with a grainy version in the compo.
It kind of looks like an abstract version of IKEA, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's like you get lost in that one.
Yeah.
Like, lost, can't find, send meatballs.
Shiny.
I'm just going October and late October, because of the black and orange in that one. Interesting choice of colors.
Yeah, number 12 is Metal Meals by Androod. Blender 3.1.
First of all, I'm wondering if Androod is Andrew with it, and that he just added a D, or if it's a different person. I need to see that final shot, because I don't remember the checkerboard apron being included in that final shot.
May not have looked good from a distance.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is there. You can see it. No, it's there.
Oh yeah, now you can. Yes, now I can see it. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what Daft Punk are up to now.
Well, it's probably less stressful than dealing with the music industry.
Yeah, very true.
Also, the rain on that one is Dragon Dance by Neotheta. One day is enough to summon the dragons of Instancy, done in Krita. Props to Instancy for being a satellite.
Breakdancing furry.
Fox, dragon, yeah. It's,
Krita is a very good program as well. Free.
Yes, it is. Well, that's why I got the Wacom tablet. Again, I find it therapeutic. I'm not necessarily getting anywhere with it.
But yeah, if you want a free paint package and you're not keen on GIMP, then Krita's your program as far as I can say.
GIMP has some weirdness.
I can't get on with its interface. I just can't. I was brought up on Photoshop, that's the problem.
Yeah, well, both Photoshop and GIMP, I feel, have serious issues with their interface. But Krita, with the tablet, I can just use it like a paint palette and just go and flow with it. It's which I think is part of the reason why so many people are moving to it, because you don't have to worry about the interface.
No.
Now we've just talked about the interface rather than the picture.
It was a very good picture.
It was an excellent picture.
Easter Bunnies, number 14 by Mash of Absolute. This is more Blender 3.1.
Good to see folks from Absolute again. I recognize that font. Ow.
Pretty good t-shirt. And I say, were they originally planning to have this outside and decided not to bother?
I'm wondering if this is, I'm really confused why they didn't continue with the fall. Well, probably because it's Easter and it doesn't work. But
That's true.
my goodness, that earlier shot from the back and the hair, that was something. Well, there you go. There's your choices. Number 15, Skies of Ashes, Messerschmitt, by Monika Arnott. Imagine, and that's just plain, that's just charcoal drawing, isn't it?
It does look like it, doesn't it? I didn't see what the tools were. But yes.
Oh, and look at that. The Messerschmitt is right there in front of the dragon. I completely missed it in the first.
Yeah, maybe. Is that a composition problem, really? Because it is very easy to lose that plane.
Yeah, it might be, and maybe
a little
isn't.
shed, because the rest of the drawing is so good.
Yeah, and with the I mean, maybe it's supposed to be the same thing. It's just one is a Messerschmitt, and the dragon is the embodiment of the Messerschmitt. Also, my German accent is non-existent, so I apologize for not being able to pronounce the vowels properly.
Yeah. Chat says this was in Krita as well, actually, again. So,
but using the charcoal brushes and so forth that are available.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a book coming with the same title.
Yeah. Number 16 is Quijotada, I hope. Elizabeth Casua of 33ZTH. Maybe Procreate on iPad. I was thinking, was that a horse? It's not. It's a cow with very long legs.
Yes, and sort of the whole. Why can't I remember his name? The fellow that jousts windmills.
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote. Thank you. Yes, but Dawn, the female name.
Dawn Quixote, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Very. Yeah, there's a difference between, the details.
That's a familiar sight to anyone who's ever grown up in the country, believe me.
Yes, yes, and the smell that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cartoons are just as difficult, or in some cases more difficult than realism, because I mean, there's definitely character stuff that came through from that, and the face and in the faces. Is this one yours? No, this one's mine. Evacuation by Laila. Made in Blender.
Yeah.
That's Laila has a way with the way that she draws eyes. They're both expressive and far away. In the final, are there 3? Yes, Yes, there are 3, folks. I didn't notice that at first. Also, it's fascinating how Blender is able to create, being a 3D tool, how it's able to render in this cel-shaded type style and produce.
Yeah, the line art is giving me the visible lines are giving me a kind of Mobius vibe to this.
Yeah.
I like the way they're not entirely in the right place as well. If you look at the background characters.
Yeah.
Kind of that little shift out just makes it look really nice. Almost defocuses it without actually having it blurred.
Yeah. And also is more attractive, at least to my eyes, because if it's exactly the same on both sides, that bothers me.
Hermione Granger by Lowebo. Fan art. Nothing wrong with fan art?
No, nothing at all. And her, not necessarily the movie Hermione. And I'm glad you pronounced that, because I always pronounce her name incorrectly. It's also interesting that the color came last.
Yeah, I see. There's a lot of artists use that technique. Basically, sketch it out in black and white to get the shading and the lighting all correct, and then go in and add the color later on. It can work very well, because oftentimes if you do something flat and do it in color, and then you come to add your shading and your lighting, and you realise you've lost the color was wrong. You've got to change it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very much.
Not too sure Hermione would really keep her tie that crooked though, but there you go.
Yeah, it's a good... Yeah, No School Like by Poison of Singular Crew. Meet you at A-Rock Party this summer and celebrate 8-bit love together. Screwdriver not included.
Yes.
And
All
it says
too
old
familiar a
school.
sight.
So, when I was at Function the last time, someone did find a data set in the street, and it was broken, but it had a cassette in it, and so they gave it to me to take home and dump. And I put it in my bag, and the X-ray scanned it, and they couldn't make out what it was, so they called the police.
Oh dear! When tape players are unfamiliar enough that you get arrested for carrying them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That reminds me of one time outside. When, I think it was possibly even the first revision we went to. We'd bought some sausage for our neighbours because they were looking after the house while we were away, and we had it next to a mobile phone in one of the bags, and we got arrested at Frankfurt because they thought it was a bomb.
And we've always wondered how about the meteoric statues would get through.
Yeah. Flying Freedom by Leon is number 20. Oh, C64 graphics. 9 screens and 16 colours though.
Oh. Well, that's Leon for you. Yeah.
It always amazes me that people can make good art on the Commodore 64 given that palette. I'm sorry, but it really does.
It is a very earthy palette.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is missing skin colors for the most part, and but yeah, I
mean, don't get me wrong, you can do a lot with dithering, but
oh yeah, but yeah, it's it is a a difficult palette, but it is not the most difficult palette. If you go to, say, Pixel Nation, I think Pixel Nation has a number of the palettes and so forth, and there are some that are just really difficult to use, and then there are some that are just absolutely a joy to use. Dawnbringer's palettes are my favorites. This is it's really difficult to comment on this one in comparison to the others because the C64 pixeling is so different from the techniques. And this is just an astounding picture, but it's very Leon. Leon can draw. Just
yeah. So yeah, Steam Angel number 1, Mees-Hell next. This is an oil painting retouched in Photoshop.
Oh my.
Okay, you're into art.
Very steampunk.
Very steampunk. Now I need to see the oil painting part.
Yeah.
Okay, you lost 10 pounds.
Okay,
Your boobs no longer bounce. Okay, you have to vent.
Okay, that's probably the oil painting there.
Yeah.
Then retouching it to darken the back and then to bring out the front.
Yeah. So yeah, mostly oil painting this one then.
So yes, again, so many different techniques. I mean, just the difference between C64 pixeling, the previous one, and multiple. That previous picture had to be put, screen by screen by screen, and then touched up more than likely. I don't know how he would have even pulled that off. Versus this technique, which is, oil painting, which is paint on canvas and mixing your colors, both. I mean, oil painting versus painting, pixeling in general, or 3D modeling, or rendering it from code. Just so many different techniques.
Oil painting is so hard as well. I mean,
oh
the
yeah.
thing I know about oil paintings is that by law they have to include at least one happy little tree.
Only in the States.
Ah, right, okay.
The Tree of Life by Oni of Poo-Brain. I think this is a newcomer to this competition. Did a big chunk of this modeling in VR, which was quite a challenge, but lots of fun. Can recommend.
Oh, that'd be the gravity sketch. Oh, that, yeah. The thing is, knowing what Oni's 3D stuff is like, I can imagine he did enjoy that, doing that in VR. I wonder if it's basically like sculpting.
I hate to ask. I wonder if, because I remember at one of these things, maybe it was 2 years ago, or maybe it was a follow-up, Oni gave us a overview of how he'd done the whole thing for the picture, and yeah, he. Here are two of Oni's, two or three of my stages, but he has probably about 7,000 stages of this, of which 6,472 of them he just has not in this picture.
We saw examples of it in the first sketches there and so on like that. You thought that's really detailed, and it's like a tiny bit that ends up like 10 pixels high on the picture, and it's like, and he's obviously spent ages doing that.
And the reason is because he
that
enjoys doing
statue in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that statue in the background, he would have spent ages doing that, and you can barely see it in the picture.
Or the details on the bats. And not to say that other people haven't had that. I mean, the flies from on Don Quixote's horse, all the detail in the oil painting, the way that the detail on that dream cloud thing, the focus of that,
But you just get so much detail in digital art. It's just incredible. It's like having a canvas that's like the size of a street or something like that. Anyway, number 23 is Ghostfish by Darky. Adobe Medium and another Oculus headset, so more 3D. Or more VR, I mean, yes.
So, I'm not sure if Darky has ever gone head-to-head with Oni before. I'm not sure. But see, Darky has been in several assembly combos and has produced extremely quality work over the years. So, and the detail he's got in this, I mean, look, he took out the oil spill type stuff in the ground portion, and but I believe that his technique is completely different from Oni's in how they draw or how they go about things. And the detail of all these fish in the background.
Chat wondering if the astronaut knows there are ghost fish behind him. I don't expect there's much peripheral vision in a space helmet, so maybe not.
I wonder if he's leading them.
Could be.
What is that creature? It's so large it doesn't even fit in the picture. Also, is he underwater? Or is this just...
I was thinking he was underwater. This from the fish, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But being ghost fish, maybe it's who knows? Well, Darky knows. And the astronaut probably knows. And probably the fish. They probably know. One wonders where they're headed.
I think we are headed to the end. Yes, we are. End of the modern graphics.
Yet another compo with an incredible amount of differing techniques. How we're supposed to judge. If I can just recommend, go with what you liked.
This is the same with all competitions, really. Yeah, it's the same with all competitions. You can vote. You can vote for what you think looks best. You can vote for what your favourite, and so on. Even if you don't necessarily know the details and the techniques that were involved. I mean, if you like a 4K intro, like the way it looks, do you mind how it was coded? If there was any innovative technique involved, if you know about it, it can influence your decision. But if you don't know about it, that doesn't preclude you from voting.